In the year 2015, I got the wonderful opportunity to start my PhD with the Center for Human Rights at the University of Pretoria. And I remember that at the start of that PhD, I heard about someone who was just rounding off his own PhD after 8 years. And I was like, ooh, I remember telling someone and saying, 8 years? How come he took 8 years? I mean, what was he doing? What was happening? I couldn't believe that it needed to take that long for somebody to finish. But then I started. Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6. I guess you see where this is going, right? Because ideally my PhD should have taken between 3 to 4 years, and I should have graduated, I should have finished. And each year I took an extension. Yeah, almost there, almost there. After a lot of making a case for why I should get that extension, and so on and so forth. In between, of course, COVID also happened. A lot of things did happen. I was still working, and it felt like I just wasn't finishing. And it took so much of my time. I barely had any free time. In fact, those days, any free time I had was thinking about, oh, you should be writing your thesis, you should be writing your research, working on your research, and all of that. It got to a point where even my son said to me, Daddy, you're always working. I don't get to play with you. And that broke my heart. That really touched me real deep. For those of you who know me, you know that I cherish spending time with my kids. And him having to tell me that meant that it had actually gotten to him. And I didn't like that. So I wanted to get it over and done with. So by the end of year 6, going into year 7, I got an email. I remember I was on a work trip and I was in my hotel room when I got that email from my supervisor, where he said, it was early in the morning, and he said, it looks like I would need to discontinue my PhD program because I hadn't made sufficient progress to make sure that I graduated latest by year 7, unless I could make a case for that happening. And at that point, I was just like, you know what? I'm done. Yes, really, it's not that hard. I don't have to have a doctor next to my name. And I remember forwarding that email to my wife and calling her and telling her that, babe, this is it. I really just need to quit this. It's getting in the way of too many things. I'm not able to do so many other things I would love to do. And she said, babe, no, you can't quit. You've come too far. You've come too far. Oh my gosh. We went back and forth. I'm like, no, I can't go on. You see how much time it's taking, and so on and so forth. I'd rather just get back to to a normal life, like not having to carry this weight and burden, as it were, of constantly having to work on this research. Important research, by the way, but I just was done. And I even said that I'm going to just convert my research so far into published articles and make a difference in the world through that knowledge that will add to the body of knowledge in academic circles. But my wife refused. She still said, you have to finish. And later on, of course, my siblings also got to know my brothers and my sister. They also got to know my mom. Everybody was like, no, you can't quit. You have to finish. I remember my mother-in-law telling me that you'd want to finish this because in the future, you want to be able to tell your son that you confronted something this challenging and you did not give up, so that you can encourage him to, if he were to be faced with a difficulty, to never give up. I was later to learn, after so many months later on, that they all had actually, my wife had spoken to all of them to say, you all have to encourage Bayo to not give up, because I am doing that part and I need you all to add your voice. I didn't even know that was what she had done, but all of them were now, pushing and saying, you've got to do it. And that nudge, that push, that encouragement worked. I got back to my supervisor, told him I can do this. I will do this. So year 7 came and went. I didn't graduate, but I made significant progress. Unbelievable progress. Took several nights, several headaches. Oh my goodness. And then year 8, I graduated. About a year ago now, I graduated with my PhD in international law. Dr. Bayo has a nice ring to it. But yeah, what many people would have seen was, wow, Bayo has finished a PhD in international law. Oh my goodness, amazing. But what many people did not see were the years of hard work, of sweat, of tears, of headaches, of sleepless nights, of sacrifices. And I learned a lot of lessons through that experience. Of course, one vivid one is that, casting my mind back to 2015 and the statement that I made almost feels like God was trying to teach me a lesson. Because I couldn't understand why somebody would take that long to finish their PhD. And here I was, taking just as long to finish mine. And it just reminds me of that saying that you can't feel what anybody else feels until you've walked a mile in their shoes. It is so true. And, I'm also just grateful. Another lesson is that those within my circle, my family, I was surrounded by those who supported and pushed me and believed in me even when I did not. Even at the dinner, the surprise dinner that my wonderful friends threw for me after the graduation in December of 2022, my supervisor was invited to attend, and it was beautiful. And he made a comment. He did say he actually believes now in miracles, that he never thought that I was going to finish. And seeing me graduate finally is proof that miracles still happen. We laughed over it, everybody, we chuckled, but it's true. Finishing my PhD was a miracle. It took a miracle for me to finish. And I'm forever grateful to God and all those who supported me to get me to that point. And I share this because many of us might be faced with different challenges in our life, some things that you've grappled with for years and you wonder if you're ever going to overcome. I want to encourage you that yes, if you don't give up, you will overcome. Life will always come with its challenges. The human spirit is resilient. God is faithful and able, but also always have the right people in your circle. And never judge anybody. Don't judge anybody's journey until you know the whole story.